Well, how's it going, everyone? Austin here. I did not expect to be making a video for the first time in August on this subject, but we have offer sheets, and the St. Louis Blues are deciding to have a little bit of fun this summer. They're throwing a little bit of a wrench in Edmonton's pretty good offseason when it comes to, their player acquisitions, signings, that sort of thing. The St. Louis Blues, they came out this morning and they offered Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway 2-year deals each, which, of course, both players have signed. So the Oilers have 1 week to match these offers. And it's funny, I hadn't made a video for like 2.5, almost 3 weeks now, just because hockey news had been slow. I woke up this morning and I was literally in the middle of planning an Evander Kane video because Bob Stauffer yesterday, he put out a tweet saying that Kane's probably on LTIR. But I ended up having to scrap that because Elliot Friedman tweeted right before I hit record on the video that I was going to do today about St. Louis's offer sheets to Broberg and Holloway. So we're going to discuss that. And of course, I will still talk a little bit about Evander Kane because his salary implications will be big on whether Edmonton is able to match these offers, or at least attempt to match these offers, because if Evander Kane does go on LTIR to start the season, obviously that'll clear up over $5 million in cap space. So we'll see what happens here, but let's take a look at the details of what St. Louis has done and if Edmonton logically should be matching these contracts. So the Blues offer sheet, Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway. Now, both players had a bit of a breakout, a bit of a coming out party during the postseason, that run to the Cup Finals. Of course, Broberg, he stepped in the lineup during the conference finals, my apologies. And Dylan Holloway, he just played pretty consistently well. He found himself in the top 6 a lot next to Leon Draisaitl during the postseason. He had 7 goals, and that was huge. And for both players, we were expecting Edmonton to sign them to 1 or 2 year bridge deals, probably in that $1 to $1.5 million range. However, the St. Louis Blues decided, you know what, Philip Broberg, let's give him $4.58 million per season, and we'll give Dylan Holloway $2.29 million per season. Now, I think for the Oilers here, Broberg's compensation, if Edmonton does not match, will be a second-round pick from the Blues, and a Holloway compensation, if the Oilers do not match, will be a third-round pick. I do think Dylan Holloway's upside right now in terms of a scoring winger for Edmonton, and he can play center as well if you need him to. Really good to have for depth. Obviously, he probably signed this deal with the Blues because he probably just wants some playing time. The Oilers went out and signed 2 top 6 wingers in Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson this summer, and maybe Dylan Holloway feels like that he won't see the playing time that, will allow him to be able to sign an even bigger contract down the road, assuming he would have signed at about $1.5 million this summer. Dylan Holloway has all the tools in his toolkit to be a really, really effective top 6 scoring winger. Obviously, he hasn't completely put it together yet. In 89 regular season games, he has 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points. However, he did have 7 goals during the playoffs, which, like I mentioned, was really, really good. And then, of course, Philip Broberg. He has been in and out of the lineup for several years now. He hasn't quite turned into what I think Edmonton was hoping that he would be when they chose him in that top 10 in 2019. That was Ken Holland's first pick with the Oilers as general manager. And in the regular season, Broberg, 2 goals, 11 assists, 13 points. He only played 3 regular season games last year. However, he did step in during the conference finals, and he played pretty well against Dallas, and he played okay against Florida. He was thrust into a position where, a lot of players, probably a position to, a lot of players would have failed the test that he was given, and Broberg, he held his own. If you look at the advanced metrics during the Cup final, though, Broberg really did struggle if you're numbers people, but Broberg, he has that upside. But is he worth $4.58 million per season? Is he worth trying to match that contract? This is a tough one. Now, this is just me personally. I think Edmonton should be matching Dylan Holloway's contract, but I think at this point in Philip Broberg's career, I know he showed signs of what he could be in the playoffs. But $4.58 million per year for the next 2 seasons, that's pretty rich. And the Oilers still have to sign Leon Draisaitl to his extension, which would kick in next season. And I just don't know how to make the salary cap work here. Obviously, Evander Kane going on LTIR to start the year, that'll clear up about $5.5 million. But that's not enough to cover both these players' salaries, and the Oilers are already negative $354,000 of cap space right now. That means they're over the cap by about almost $400,000, and this would obviously put them. Now, I will say on Twitter or X.com, I did have a fan mention to me that the Oilers could accept both of these right now if they wanted to. Yes, that would put them like $8 million over the cap or whatever, $7 million. But I guess you can go 10% over the salary cap as long as you are salary compliant by the time the season starts, which would require a lot of fidangling with the salary cap, roster movement, during preseason, leading into October. Because at some point before the season starts, you have to be cap compliant. Now, do the Oilers accept both of these? Do they match both and then try and figure out the salary cap later? There's still possibly a Cody Ceci trade that they could make. They might try and trade Brett Kulak. If they really want Broberg, they'd have to move Kulak now, and Ceci probably. Just minimum. And then Evander Kane, of course, some fans probably want him traded. That's not going to happen. But LTIR is an option. Would they be able to do it to be cap compliant before the season starts? I am not sure. This is a very interesting situation. The St. Louis Blues decided to come out and just go after Edmonton for some reason. Honestly, though, I'm actually kind of excited about this. One, it gives me something to talk about. And two, you don't see a lot of offer sheets in the NHL anymore. Obviously, there was that infamous Dustin Penner offer sheet from Kevin Lowe. But before Dustin Penner, Kevin Lowe in 2007 offered Thomas Vanek a big contract. I think it was 7 years, $48 million or something back in 2007. Buffalo matched that. And then Kevin Lowe decided, you know what, I'm going to go after Dustin Penner now. Anaheim did not accept that one, where they did not match, and Brian Burke and Kevin Lowe had a very interesting feud about it, and both made some pretty intense comments. Crazy times back in 2007. We'll see what Edmonton does in this situation. What do you guys think? Do you think Edmonton should match both? Do you think they should match just Broberg or just Holloway? I'm leaning towards just matching Holloway's offer. I think Dylan Holloway is worth the $2.29 million. It is a little rich, and for someone that isn't going to get a lot of top six playing time, but Dylan Holloway is a very valuable piece in terms of, depth for this team. If there's any injuries along the wings or even at center, Dylan Holloway, he showed during the playoffs that he can step into a top six role if he has to. You never know with a Jeff Skinner or Victor Arvidsson, especially Arvidsson. Arvidsson has had injury problems in the past, so to have Dylan Holloway be able to slot up there if he needed to, and even a bit of time on the power play if needed, that is huge. Philip Broberg, this is such a tough situation. Obviously, we can, in hindsight, we all know the Darnell Nurse contract. We get that. And then Bouchard, he's going to need to be re-upped next season. I guess they could assign him to an extension now if they wanted to, but that would also kick in next year as well. So looking at the realistic situation of these offer sheets, I'm not sure what Edmonton does here. I don't think they're going to match Philip Broberg. I just can't see it happening unless they're really able to move a ton of salary out. If they're able to move a CC and a Kulak, that's where Broberg being accepted makes sense. We'll see what Edmonton does. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section below. It's a lot of fun making another video for once. Not what I was planning on doing, but I am very excited to hear from all of you once again and start getting back on the content train here. Obviously, we're getting pretty close to captain skates at the beginning of September, and then we're going to have preseason. We're going to have the Young Stars tournament in Penticton, or wherever that is in British Columbia. So lots of hockey content on the way. I hope everyone's been enjoying their summer. Yeah, let me know what you think. We'll see you in the next one. Tell someone that you love them. Take care.